identifying your ideal customer profile, called ICP, and that's what we are going to talk in this particular section. So hello and welcome back to our LinkedIn Marketing and Lead Generation Bootcamp. I'm Sawan Kumar, and in today's lesson we are going to tackle a fundamental aspect of successful B2B marketing. That is identifying your ideal customer profile, and that equally works. So whether you are doing a B2B or a B2C or reaching out to possible employers looking for a new job or whatever it is, identifying an ideal, you can call it a customer profile, you can call a company profile, you can call it whatever you call it. So it is very important that you have an ideal ICP. Understanding who your ideal customers are, or understanding who your ideal prospect is, or understanding who your ideal reach out person would be, will help you focus your efforts, tailor your message, and maximizing results on LinkedIn. So let's dive in. Once again, I'll be taking the reference of ideal customer profile here, but this is equally relevant for people who are looking for a job or a new opportunity, a business partner, a sales. No matter what you are looking for, this is going to be equally relevant for all of you. So why defining your target audience is crucial. So here we are talking about target audience. It increases your efficiency in marketing efforts. So by focusing on a specific audience, you save time, you save resources by not pursuing leads unlikely to convert. So let's say if you have not identified your target audience and you are doing your marketing, so you are reaching out to maybe 1,000 people. Now out of those 1,000 people, it's quite possible that only 10 or 20 odd people were relevant. So your efforts that you put in, the time that you spent in reaching out to the remaining 990 people went wasted. So this makes it more efficient. Then your messaging becomes more personalized. Now that you have identified or defined a target audience, you can talk in their language, in their industry language, in their industry lingo. So your tailored messages resonate more with the potential clients, increasing engagement rate. So they understand whether you are spamming them, you are sending a spam message to thousands of people, or you are specifically messaging for them. They understand this like you understand when you receive a spam or you receive a customized message. So when you have a target audience, when you have personalized messaging, the conversion rates would be higher. So targeted marketing leads to better conversion rates. According to Marketing Sherpa, segmented and targeted emails generate 58% of all the revenues. So if you are reaching out for a sales, so promoting your product or services, if you reach out to a very niche audience with a personalized messaging, the conversion would be higher. If you are an employee looking for a new job opportunity, and you cannot reach out to anyone and everyone hiring, right? You have to reach out to those specific companies or people who are hiring people in your specific skill set. So your conversion rates would get higher when you only reach out to those people who are hiring in your particular skill set, or who are looking for a particular service in the industry that you are selling the product in. So example, imagine you are a company selling cybersecurity solutions, or you are an employee as a cybersecurity expert. Marketing to all businesses might spread your efforts thin. So focusing on mid-sized healthcare companies needing to protect patients' data can yield better results. Self-explanatory. So what is an ideal customer profile? What is an ICP? An ICP is a detailed description of the perfect customer for your product or service. The key components of it being industry and sector. So it's equally relevant if you're an employee looking for a new opportunity. Company size, what size of the company you're looking for a job in, or what size of a company that you are looking to work for, sell your product or service. Geographical location, very important. Job titles and roles, who you want to reach out to, whether you want to reach out to a hiring manager, a CXO, a CEO, a president, director, whoever you want to reach out to. The pain points and challenges, the solutions that you can give or offer them, goals and objectives, and the technology usage. Now these are a few components that will cumulatively define your ICP. So defining the industry and sector to start with. Identify industries that benefit most from your offering. So use SIC, that is Standard Industrial Classification, or NAICS, that is a North American Industry Classification System, codes for precise targeting. That's what LinkedIn uses. For example, technology, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, education, etc. The data point: LinkedIn reports that messages sent to prospects in a well-defined industry have a 45% higher in response rate. So if I am messaging for my cybersecurity solutions and my message is customized for healthcare industry, the pain points of the healthcare industry and how my product or my service solves that particular pain point of healthcare industry, there would be better resonation and there would be better responses. Determining company size is the next important factor. Consider employee count and revenue. So you know what size of company you're targeting, whether it's a 5,000 or 50,000 employee company, or you're reaching out to a 50 or a 100 or a 200 employee company. Small businesses 1 to 50 employees, mid-market 51 to 1,000 employees, and enterprise 1,000 plus employees. Why it matters? Company size often correlates with the budget, decision making process, and your resource availability. For an example, a software vendor might target mid-sized companies because they are big enough to afford the solution but small enough to need external expertise. Geographical location will focus on regions where you operate or want to expand, local, national, or international markets. Consider cultural and legal differences. Tailor your approach based on regional businesses, practices, and regulations. So, while the United States is easier to target and easier to reach out, Europe might be a difficult region to target. Now, it depends on your expertise and your location and how you serve them. It's completely independent or dependent on who you are, where you are from, and everything else. So if your product complies with the specific regulations like GDPR in Europe or HIPAA in the US, highlight this in your targeting. Next is identifying key job titles and roles. So decision makers versus influencers. So there are two different types of people. One is decision maker and the other one is an influencer to the decision maker. For an example, if you want to get placed in a company, a small company, let's say a 10-20 employee company, you want to find a job there, the best person to reach out would be a CEO of the company, but CEO might not take decision on his own. He might get influenced by the project manager in the company or the hiring manager in the company. So the hiring managers or the project managers are not the decision makers, but they highly influence the decision of the decision maker. Similarly, if you are selling a product or a service, you might not want to directly reach out to the CEO or the CFO or the CXO of the company, but reach out to the actual people facing that problem. Could be a project manager, could be a CTO, could be a tech lead. So you reach out to them with their problems and how your product or service solves their problem, and they become the influencer. They become the people who take your message to the decision makers, and your efforts become far more conversion. Your conversion rates gets higher. So the common roles: C-level executives, directors, managers. Example for an HR software: target HR managers, talent acquisition specialists, and CHROs. So they are the influencers, though they might not be the decision makers. And that's how decision maker and influencers differentiate themselves. Next is understanding pain points and challenges. Identify the problems your ideal customer faces: operational inefficiencies, high costs, compliance issues, or maybe limited growth, or how your solution addresses these pain points. Clearly articulate the benefits and the solutions, and if possible the costs as well. A Salesforce study found that 72% of B2B buyers expect vendors to personalize communication to their needs. Next is determining goals and objectives. Align with their strategic goals. So your goals and objectives might be different from the goals and objectives of the company or the people that you want to reach out to. So you have to determine what their goals and their objectives are, and how your product and service, or you as an employee, can help them achieve their goals and objectives. They are not interested in what your goals and objectives are, right? So align with their strategic goals. It could be increase in revenue, expanding the market share, improving customer satisfaction, or reduced costs. Position your offering as a means to achieve these goals. For an example, if a company aims to reduce operational costs and your solution automates manual processes, highlight this as a benefit. Next is assessing technology usage. Evaluate their current tech stack. Are they early adopters or laggards? What software do they currently use? Why it matters? Understanding their technology maturity helps tailor your pitch. So use tools like BuildWith to find out what technology a company is using. So maybe a website, what technology is their website built on? So if it's still built on WordPress, that means they have not adopted new technologies, and you are the right person to pitch them to upgrade to new technologies and new things. So that's how you assess the technology usage and customize your messaging. Next, now that you have done all of this, you create an ICP document. You consolidate your findings, use a template to organize the information. Sections that you can include could be company profile, industry size, location, buyer persona, could be job titles, roles, responsibilities, the pain points, challenges they face, and the solutions, how your product addresses their needs. An example ICP snapshot could look like: industry, healthcare, company size 200 to 500 employees, location, the United States. If any particular state in the United States, you can mention that. Job title could be IT manager or a CTO. Pain point could be data security, compliance with HIPAA, and then the solution you provide, and so on. So that's your ICP document. Now, once you have prepared your ICP document, next comes the LinkedIn's search function. You need to leverage that. The basic search: use keywords, enter job titles, company names or industry terms, apply filters, location, connection, current company, past company, etc. For an example, you search for an IT manager and filter by healthcare industry and United States. Now, depending on what LinkedIn are you using, if you're using the basic LinkedIn account or a premium or a sales navigator, depending on what LinkedIn account you're using, you can differentiate your search functions accordingly. Some advanced search techniques could be like Boolean search operators, like you're looking for a marketing, somebody in marketing, and also is a manager. Or, so and narrows the search or broadens the search. So somebody who is a CEO or a chief executive officer or a CTO in XYZ company. Or you can say not. So engineer, but not a software engineer. Or maybe in quotes, you can highlight that. So for exact phrases, so you are only targeting project managers, so you put them in quotes. Or a parenthesis, so sales and director or manager, not engineer. So that is how you do your Boolean search operators. For example, find CTOs or CIOs in healthcare. If I have to define that, I would write CTO or Chief Technology Officer or CIO, close the parenthesis, and within quotes, healthcare. Now that would get me a CTO or a Chief Technology Officer or a CIO in healthcare industry. That's how you use the Boolean search technique. Use these operators to refine your search and find the exact profiles that match your ICP criteria. Now you can keep adding and, or, not, quotes, parentheses, and so on. So looks like a mathematical operation, but yeah, that's how it works. Next is using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So it's an advanced platform to reach out to leads. The features are like advanced lead and company search, over 20 filters including company size, seniority level, and more, lead recommendations, AI driven suggestions based on your preferences. You have an option to message into email messaging, send messages directly to prospects even if you're not connected. So all of this is something that you can do on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Now if I was to show you how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I might want to come to my LinkedIn account, and since I have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator, that's my LinkedIn feed. I go to Sales Navigator. Okay, it's taking a while to load. Let's wait for it. to work. Okay, here it is. So that's how your Sales Navigator platform looks like. Here you can use the search option. You have the option to do a lead filter, or you have the option to do an account filter. Now, what is the difference between lead and account filter? Using account filter, you can search for the company attributes, so annual revenue, company headcount growth, headquarter location, industry, number of followers, department headcount growth, fortune, and the technology used. Then you have options like job opportunities, so if they are hiring on LinkedIn, recent activities, connection, whether they are connected to you, buyer intent, moderate or high intent. Then you have other options. So once you have, let's say, filtered out a few companies, let's say, let's select the first one, chiropractors. So I have a list of maybe 1,000 companies. I select this. So now what I can do is I can save these companies depending on the filters that I get. I click on save to list here. I create a new list. I name it as chiropractors. Chiros in the United States. So depending on however you want to name it. So I do a save. Now that list is created, and the first 25 companies are now saved in that list. So I can keep saving people in this list. So I can move on to the next page. I can then again select all, save to list, and the Cairo USA. I see. So there are now 50 people in this list. Now, here is where the magic happens. I want to reach out. I cannot reach out to a company directly, right? I have to find out people who are working in that company. So for that, once I have selected these 25 companies, I click on view current employees. So now in all these 25 companies, or actually I can add more. So what I'll do is I'll come down and I'll look for my list. So Cairo USA, all the companies that are here in my list. So I get a list of 710 people who are working in these 50 companies that I created a list for. Now, I have the list of companies. I do not want to reach out to big companies. So I filter it out. I reach out to 11 to 50 and 51 to 200 because that's the company head count. So 710 came down to 579 now. I only want to reach out to people so let's say owners and partners of these companies. Now this result came down further to only 12 results. And now I have the highly filtered list. I can choose to send them a connection request, view their profile, or send an in-mail message to them. Write the subject, type your message, and send it to them with your offering and everything. So we'll talk about how to create your messaging in a separate module, but yeah, that's how you do it. Now if you look at in-mail, you cannot send unlimited in-mails. You see, use one of 56 credits. So you have limited number of credits that you get every month. So you can only send 56 in-mails in my case. So you'll have to look in your account how many in-mail credits you have, and you can accordingly use them. So you can in-mail them, you can send them a connection request, and once they accept your request, you can always keep following up with them. So that's how you use Sales Navigator. Next is saving and organizing lead lists. So you save the leads, you create the list, and then you set up alerts. Get notified when leads change jobs, their content, or are mentioned in the news. So you can also set up alerts. Then is analyzing prospect activity, review their recent posts and engagement, and identify mutual connections. Leverage these for warm introductions. So let's say I come back to my Sales Navigator. I come to home. Right here, if I look for leads, no, not here, smart links. That's the messaging part of it. Okay, so here are some suggested leads from AI based on my previous searches and what their activity has been. So he shared a post, he shared a post, he shared a post, shared a post, shared a post. Now you can look at the post that they have shared and engage with them. So that's how you get yourself noticed in front of your leads precisely. So we already applied what we learned. We saved the leads, we used the LinkedIn search, we defined our ICP. So take a moment to outline your ICP, apply the search techniques that we just learned, create a list of at least 10 prospects. We'll use these leads in the next lessons on networking strategies. So some common mistakes that you must avoid is to have a very broad targeting. Again, the smaller your targeting is, the better your messaging would be, and the better your messaging is, the better your conversion rates would be. So do not do a broad targeting, though it might seem easier for you in the start that okay, why not reach out to everyone instead of reaching out to 10 or 20 people, but your messaging would not be accurate, and then your conversion rates would be even poorer. Ignoring data, use data to inform your ICP, not assumptions. Not updating your ICP, markets evolve, revisit your ICP regularly. Set up a quarterly reminder to review and adjust your ICP as needed. Some tools and resources, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can integrate your CRM with the link on LinkedIn. Let's say somebody who messaged on LinkedIn, move them to your CRM and then follow up from there. Then you have platforms like ZoomInfo or Clearbit that provides deeper insights into every single lead. So that's some of the data enrichment tools. I'll talk about this as well in the next sections. A case study for you. ABC Software Solutions faced a significant challenge: low engagement with their LinkedIn outreach efforts. Now this case study is going to demonstrate how refining their ideal customer profile led to remarkable improvements in their marketing results. The challenge: the company was struggling with low engagement rates in their LinkedIn outreach campaigns. Now, this indicated that their targeting might not have been precise as it could be, resulting in wasted efforts and resources. So, the action to address this issue, ABC Software Solutions took a critical step. They refined their ICP to focus specifically on mid-sized tech companies that were in need of cloud solutions. The narrower focus allowed them to tailor their messaging and approach more effectively. The result, the impact of this refined ICP was significant. ABC Software Solutions saw their response rates increase by an impressive 60%. More importantly, this increase in responses also led to a higher number of qualified leads, improving the overall efficiency of their sales process. So what did we learn here? The case study clearly illustrates a crucial point. A well-defined ICP significantly improves targeting and engagement. By focusing their efforts on a more specific audience that aligned closely with their offerings, ABC Software Solutions was able to communicate more effectively and resonate more strongly with their potential customers. And that's all we want to do, and that's all that we are here for. So to recap, and the next steps, defining your ICP is essential for effective B2B marketing on LinkedIn. Leverage LinkedIn search function to find and optimize potential leads. Next steps, in our next lesson, we will explore effective networking strategies to grow and engage with your targeted network. Thank you for joining me in the lesson on identifying the ICP. By focusing on the right audience, you are setting the foundation right for successful lead generation. So if you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out. Let's continue to build your LinkedIn success together.